Before we get into content, I'd like to take a second to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we really appreciate the effort that you folks have put into watching our content lately. We are having a giveaway. We have decided here at the DNA Sports Recap, once this channel gets monetized, we're going to give the first $500 that we earn back to the subscribers. 5 subscribers are going to each earn $100 each. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video. The sooner we get to that monetization, the sooner we can give that away.
Yep, I love it.
All right, let's go ahead and shift over to the NBA, a little bit of the Utah Jazz basketball. Actually, a former Utah Jazz player, Doak, signs a 2-way contract with Phoenix Suns. Doak gets some playing time.
This doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah,
Doak. I mean, he was on the tail end of the roster for the Jazz. He's not a super efficient scorer. He's more of a Rudy Gobert type, catch and dunk the basketball on follow-up plays. He can't create his own shot. He's pretty good defensively. I wish Doak all the best. I mean, he had some fun highlights, and I think he had some real potential to be a Rudy Gobert type player. Mm-hmm. But you don't need 2 Rudy Gobert type players on your team ever.
No.
So,
and especially with the injury history that the Phoenix Suns have and the players, the roster they have.
Yeah.
Who knows? He actually may get a lot more playing time than we're expecting. So, yeah. Good luck to Doak. Hopefully, he does the most of his time there. Let's go ahead and talk about ESPN. ESPN released their early preseason record for what the Utah Jazz are going to be. Now, currently, both them and SB Nation have the Utah Jazz ranked as 22nd in the power rankings, which actually is not that bad. That means that there's 8 other teams that the Jazz are better than in the power rankings, which I think is awesome. But they do show ESPN does have them at a 37 and 45, missing the playoffs. SB Nation, DraftKings has them at a 35.5 win total. Are you taking the over or the under on that one?
Oh, I'm taking the over all day, brother. I'm taking the over all day.
All right. I like it.
I'm actually confused on how anybody thinks this team doesn't go 500.
I'm curious as to why people think this team's going to be worse than it was last year.
Literally think it's going to be worse than last year.
Didn't they have 37 wins last year?
They had 37 last year, yeah.
So why does anybody think it's going to be exactly the same?
They got better. The Jazz got better in this offseason. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. I would argue the Jazz won the offseason with the moves they made. The draft was insane.
It's almost obvious.
They got John Collins.
Yeah.
You got
you
Kessler
re-signed Jordan Clarkson.
And extended him.
Yeah.
Kessler's going to play for Team USA basketball, which is only going to give him more experience.
Yep. You keep a very talented Colin Sexton still playing for the team. You draft Keontae George, who is a superstar in Summer League. And not that that means anything, but you've got a ton of potential there. Yeah. You re-signed Talon Horton-Tucker or extend him. I mean, you've still got Ochai Agbaji on the team. You draft Taylor Hendricks. There is so many good players on this team. And the only thing that I can think is they're all still kind of like a younger group, and maybe they don't, maybe they have trouble gelling, or most of this team was together last year.
Maybe they don't have that chip on their shoulder they had last year.
I disagree though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
obviously.
I was going to say, if they didn't have it, they do now.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, ESPN.
Appreciate
great work, because now our Jazz are going to come out and kill it.
And let's go ahead and back that up with the next thing. SB Nation actually has Kessler as early front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. I think that's fantastic. Well deserved. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That speaks highly of him.
Pretty impressive. I think that he will struggle to be as effectively defensively this year. I really like Walker, but teams now know that he's not just some young dumb kid in the paint. He's quick enough that he can make a move, get to the basket behind you. I'm super excited to see him playing with Taylor Hendricks, who's a good weak side defender that can come over and make blocks. And so, I think it's going to help his case as a great defender, players within 5 feet of him or whatever, making in their shot efficiency. Once you're known as a premier shot blocker and you can move and get to the basket, and I think he'll have a little more trouble being as effective.
I could see your point there, but I'm actually going to disagree with you on that one. I think this Jazz team is better suited to spread the floor defensively than ever before.
Yeah.
I think he's got a better chance to go help the helper or be helped than any Jazz team we've had in the last decade. They have more length. They have more defensive-minded players and a defensive-minded head coach in Hardy that I don't think they've had in a long time. And I think this additional help that he's going to get from being on Team USA basketball for the World Cup or World whatever they do, World Basket. Sorry. FIBA, whatever. He already was more efficient as a big man in the league than Rudy Gobert was last year. and he was already more efficient as a big man than Rudy Gobert at the same age in this league. I think he has a higher ceiling than Rudy Gobert did.
I agree. I think the issue, though, is when you're looking at a Rudy Gobert with the Utah Jazz 3-4 years ago, you're looking at a team that had turnstiles for defensive players on every spot except for Rudy. Their whole defensive scheme was literally feed every player into Rudy into the mid-range and into the under the basket. Rudy didn't have any choice but to be ridiculously efficient at what he was doing. I think that with the better defensive players that we have on the team this year and with a little bit more length, I think that's why his efficiency won't shine as much, because you've actually got decent perimeter defenders.
Okay, so you're
playing
saying
perimeter defense.
You're saying that the number of blocks he's going to get and everything like that's going to go down.
Exactly.
Like
just because we have better defenders on the team now.
Yeah. Well, I would assume that his WAR will go up.
I agree. Yeah.
I also would like to point out that there's only one other player, sophomore player, in the NBA last year that wasn't required to report to Summer League, and that was the Rookie of the Year, other than Kessler.
Really?
In the entire NBA. So that's how high.
Paolo Banchero was the only other one, huh?
That's how highly the Jazz think of him.
Wow.
And I do not think that they are wrong.
Not to mention, he's such a cool dude. Just watch any interview with Walker Kessler, and you'll just love the guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm getting excited for some Jazz basketball, man. They're doing a whole bunch of promo shoots with the rookies.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Dude, I'm just telling you, I was looking at getting a half season of Jazz tickets again.
Heck yeah, dude. That'd be awesome.
I got to figure it out, but I might do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Yeah. That'd be fantastic.
Yep. Who knows? We might even give away tickets.
That'd be a ticket. Viewers. I mean, we could probably work something out like that if you guys can hit that like, subscribe button.
That's right.
Wherever it is.
Yep. It's be here somewhere, either right there or right there. And the subscribe button's right down there. So, yeah. Anyway, so I think it's fantastic. I think it's funny that the Jazz aren't being shown, the proper respect I think they deserve with how well they did the offseason.
Every year.
I don't see how they don't make the playoffs.
I
believe they're either 7th and 8th seed. They may even shock me and not even have to be in the play-in tournament. I know the West is stacked, but I think the Jazz won the offseason and they're going to be in the playoffs this year.
I 100% agree. It's not just because I'm a Jazz fan, dude. It's because I actually think they're a really talented basketball team.
I just don't see how they're looking at, man. It drives me nuts. Anyway, once again, folks, if you are watching this on YouTube as one of our short videos, the full episode will be available as a podcast. You'll find it underneath our playlist labeled podcasts.
Yep. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like it, share it, make sure you subscribe to it. Again, we're giving that money away. Make sure you subscribe, send it to people to get them to subscribe to.
Absolutely. Our first $500 that we earn in AdSense revenue will be given back to subscribers. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on the opportunity to do that. Also, if you're listening to this as a podcast, make sure you rate and review. And once again, folks, my name is Darren. That is AJ. This has been the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.